We live.
We are live, deep in the heart of the comic book industry, bringing you all your news and notes from around the league.
The league. I like that. Come on. Let me tweet it out, then I'll join in on the convo. What do you think about that little glitchy background? Think that works? That's my art table.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know why you're gonna bog down everything, but yeah, you're good. You look nice. It looks good.
How's it gonna bog down everything? What are you talking about?
Seems like more information, more shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's more you talking out your ass. You don't know. Let me take care of the tech part.
When we're going on fire in a little bit, we got thousands of streamers, and this thing just goes. Whoosh. You think that glitch was worth the risk?
I'm more worried about Skype crashing like it was last week for no reason.
Might be memory on your shit. My iPad crashes now because of memory.
Nah, bruh. 16 gigs. I got plenty of memory.
I had this long email to we're live, so it doesn't matter, but to Mark to Mark Millar. I sent this long email to him. It was all fucking broken down, and I was all excited about it. We hit me up last year for some stuff, and I had it all worded out. I hit send on it, reread it twice, hit send. And that thing said, I was like, oh god, guess I'm not writing him for another year.
I missed it. I was getting my shit ready. But I'm sure the thousands watching at home got it.
I was name dropping Mark Millar,
Oh.
saying I'm not going to write him again for another year.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to sound too desperate. He seems like a cool guy.
Very cool. Have you been watching the show?
I watched a little bit of the one with him and Capullo, and that's it.
The Rob Liefeld one was pretty good.
Yeah, that's next on the list.
He said him and Quietly on the Authority was the best stuff since like X-Men on Austin's X-Men. I don't know. I'm not
Byrne
a
and
big
Austin.
X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said the best since then, or the top two ever superhero stories he's ever read was Quietly on, and I feel the exact same way. Although I my starting point was the Authority, so I have no idea about that old X-Men shit. That old X-Men shit looks dry. You know, the paper looks dry, the colors look dry. It just feels like, I don't know. It feels like you're digging up an artifact instead of getting something fresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's kind of where we got to go for our content now because so much of the modern content is trash
Wait.
anyway, right?
So evidently you can't tweet out YouTube links anymore to live.
Oh, is that it? Is
Is
that
that
what
what? Is that what's
was
going on?
is Elon doing that? Because Elon wants it to be a
Oh, there we go.
competitor.
I just said we're live and it wouldn't let it go, but I just tweeted the link itself and it went. Whatever.
Maybe Elon starts blocking that. You know?
Yeah, well, I think he had plans to start doing that.
Did you see the new Mr. Beast video?
Nah, I don't watch that shit. Dude going around doing a bunch of good.
Yeah, well, all of it is like a waste of money. I don't get like his like I'm gonna crush a Lamborghini or whatever, right? So he'll do stuff like that, but then he's like,
That's weird.
yeah, but it's just like for clicks. Like I'm gonna put everyone else is like hydraulic press a light bulb or something. You know, it costs $5 and
Hmm.
it gets millions of views. So he's like, I'm hydraulic pressing, and he's like blowing so much money when he could get way more content out of the video. Like he takes a freight train and runs it through a like 20 foot brick wall or whatever. And then he takes five semi trucks and demolishes them. You know, that's like five people's living right there. He's just blowing apart. Lamborghini could feed people forever. And he's just doing the clips this quick, all jammed in one. Like any of those could be whole videos, right? But then the new one is he gives 1,000 people eyesight. He goes around the world and cures people's cataracts and shit. Gives them new lenses. And you could get like one of those videos, like somebody, get non-colorblind for the first time or
I
whatever.
saw the thumbnail for the video.
It's good. It's good. But I'm like, that's probably like a year's worth of content on other people's stuff, but he just does it all in one video, you know?
So he's out
He-
there making money off the backs of the blind, is what you're telling me.
oh, yeah. Yeah.
He sounds disgusting.
Anything for a click, Mr. B. Mr. B. He's got everybody fooled. I got into old PewDiePie for a little bit. He's cool. When everyone said PewDiePie was training all the kids to be right wing, I said, well, let me see what this cat's up to. What is this guy indoctrinating? Who's he indoctrinating children? Let me go after him. Let me see what he's into. Then I see him and he's just playing video games and being pretty normal. So
Yeah.
I couldn't quite find the core of his evil that people were looking for. He was doing book reviews of like really good books and was relatively funny, made stupid voices and sold energy drinks. But
It's all made up.
was that made up? I don't know. I don't get into these YouTube wars. But yeah, they were coming after old Pewds, as they call
Yeah,
him.
he retired like 3 or 4 times over, so I can't keep track. Once he retired the first time, I took him at his word and never watched him again. Cause
You know who I don't like? I like Mr. Beast fine. You know who I find repulsive though? All of his friends on his show. None of them are like if I had a show where I was blowing shit up for millions of dollars, I wouldn't have a bunch of vanilla wafers around me. You
yeah.
know, I'd put some people around me. You know what I
Uh-oh, it
mean?
says it sounds
Like,
like you got helium pumping into your head. Oh, I wonder if I bet I still have an effect on your voice.
oh man, you got an effect on my voice? Jeez,
Dude,
man.
you sound like a girl.
Oh man.
That's hilarious. Dude, that's like accidental hilariousness right there. Thanks, J Dub. You saved Nick from a lifetime of embarrassment. If like a full show, they'd be able to cut clips nonstop forever.
This is see, Tommy's a climber and he always has to shit on his guest all the time. He's always got to put himself up. He knows he can't outthink me, he can't outtalk me. He doesn't have any good stories because he doesn't have any friends or connections in the industry. You're looking at the one and only here, so he's going to
Dude,
put a
I
helium device on me.
emailed Mark Millar last week.
Oh, did you? How's Mark doing?
Pretty good. Um, he's got in 2 pages for the new Charade book.
Tell that story you've told a million times about Rob Liefeld giving you a slice of cheese pizza.
Yeah, we went to Chicago. Rob and Marat Michaels were there. That's like his right hand man. It's his muscle. And yeah, he bought everybody pizza, like literally everybody. But there's this one guy, John Medic, um, typical 40-year-old nerd. That motherfucker blew that pizza up, dude. He ate this is Chicago deep dish. He ate like 6 slices of that, which is basically a whole pizza. But he ate.
Isn't that horrible when you like order a pizza? Like I'll have people over the house and order a pizza. Clearly, this is going to go about 2 slices, maybe 3 if you're the pig of the group. But the first person that gets there and puts 4 on their plate, ooh, I look at them with a side
Yeah,
eye.
I was reading that. There was a
Disgusting.
tweet about that. Like, what kind of person are you? Or you leave if there's 2 slices left? Do you leave both for somebody else, or do you just take them both? You know what I mean? There are a lot of people out there taking both slices. That's all I know.
This is the person that throws 4 on their plate before everyone's had a chance.
Yeah,
That's an ugly person, in my opinion.
yeah, hideous.
It's just pure selfishness in the world.
Oh shit! I forgot to look see if this art's showing up on. Nah, we good.
Oh,
Dude, this blurry VHS thing in the back, it's like a hack right there. I can draw all day with that. Nobody will ever
a
know.
lot of a lot of young guys are like that. Like Kelsey's got a few young dudes, and
Just oblivious, dude.
oblivious, dude. Like someone made this really nice like tortellini salad. It was cold with all the stuff in it, little half sliced tomatoes and um, mozzarella and stuff. It was clearly just a bowl for you to get a little bit with whatever your thing was. And he got up there first, and he got the biggest spoon and scooped 3/4 of it into his plate. And I'm like, well, what's the purpose of that? You know what I mean? Like, Oh,
You
God.
seen the video of that black dude that walks up to people and slaps the cigarettes out of their hands? Tells them smoking's
Yes.
bad for them. That's what you should have done to that kid. Walked up, just slapped that bowl out of his hand.
I'm a side item and talk about it later. Side eye and talk about it later is how I do it. Later on with the wife,
Yeah.
give you something to talk about with the wife. Did you see that? Oh, I saw that.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
we cite
Everybody loves gossiping after parties.
women especially. That's why I prefer not to go there at all. The last thing I do is pollute my mind with women talk about tortellini salad portions.
Yeah, here you are, strong feminine energy. You can't let it go. Taking food from your mouth. Is there anything worse than like buying a bunch of awesome shit for a party and you think there's going to be enough leftovers for you to eat on for a couple days and then there's just nothing left? You're all broke because you spent all your money on the party.
Kelsey would like that, She's always insecure about what she makes, so she's always like, "Oh, did you see it was almost eaten?" I didn't, and I don't care. But it means a lot to her, so
Yeah.
I pretend to care.
Well, well, viewers, what's next? You want us to talk about pimento cheese sandwiches?
Insider scoop on stuff. What do we got? What's the insider scoop? Let's talk about some drama. Anything going down in the industry right now?
Not that I know of. Dude, I swear to God, I don't keep track of any of this. Look, if we're going to do this regularly, it's just going to have to be about us.
No, like I like better than a real opinion. I like an uninformed opinion, right? Like that's even better, right?
Yeah, okay, I got you. I feel you. All right, I'll roll with that. But seriously, I don't know anything that's going on. Is there anything on?
What about everyone's talking about that Velma show being a psyop? That they made it. They sunk millions of dollars and all those writers on there, and they're all on the joke that it's a terrible show. I don't watch cartoons, and I especially don't watch Scooby Doo shows. So haven't in a long time, at least.
Well, just
And
like the
so
flat earthers, there's a gang of people, a flock that think Roadhouse was actually written as a comedy and nobody got the joke and it got made. What do you think about that? Have you ever seen Roadhouse? Surely you've seen Roadhouse. Please tell me.
yeah, Roadhouse is so good.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Refuse to. There's a YouTube channel. I'll send it to you after this. But he's like best movie ever, worst movie ever, and it's all Van Damme stuff or Seagal stuff. And generally, everything Van Damme does is best, and Seagal's the worst. And he breaks down the plot holes in Steven Seagal movies, the new ones. Oof. Well, you want to talk about some terrible movies, dude.
Gordon Goodbrother, what are you talking about? It has a face. What is it? You singing Faith No More?
This is the first time I think I showed my face on your stream since our 200 episode podcast got banned.
Yeah. That's a lot of episodes down the drain, but
Yeah.
okay, he's talking about you.
You should have seen it. We had how many followers do we have on that podcast? We were like up to what 360 or 3 before Tommy had to run his mouth and get us banned. So now we're tight-lipped about everything. That show was fire.
My boy Jay is at 100,000 subscribers, dude.
Jay who?
Dyer, my boy Jay. He's got 100,000 subscribers.
Can I say not the funny story, but the story that when I said that? Can I I guess I can say it, but I used to say that Jay was like a crow in a parking lot. That he'd eat cigarette butts out of parking lots. It turns out Turns out I'm the smoker now, and he's not. How the tide turns.
Yeah, he lived a gimmick long enough that he's successful now. Far more successful than me.
He's like a crazy conspiracy theorist, right? I've never talked to him before. I think he was in the background once in one of your videos.
Yeah, he's just in the background with you taking pot shots at him.
Oh, he was taking a power nap, and I was blowing him up. He couldn't wait. Couldn't open his eyes. Kind of like if you're laying on the couch and you're farting, but someone's in the room with you, so you pretend not to wake up. It was kind of like that.
Yeah.
I blew him to bits. But after that, he got his act together. So I'm proud I inspired him. He never gave me any credit for it, but that's fine. Nobody ever does. It's typical.
Just making sure I was muted when I flip my mic up in case Rob starts going crazy over there. In case his heart meds start making him act out.
Velma is meant to make viewers who would be nostalgic for Scooby-Doo material miserable. So mission accomplished. That's fair.
What do you think about the Scott Stapp comeback, dude? He's like getting lots of tweets.
I saw that. For whatever reason, that was in my brain, and I was jamming Creed all morning, dude.
I feel like he hit that Rick Astley so cringe it's cool phase.
Was he ever cringe? It was kind of like the last generic rock. I don't know what I think he went crazy and got in psych wards and stuff for a minute there, but that's all good. He was singing about powerful stuff.
He got hopped up on pills.
You can't come with that energy and not expect a little bit of a down cycle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, he had to balance out. He had to go experience some more hard times to get some more material. That's
6 feet. Tommy loves it when I start singing.
I sent you that sunflower, right?
I saw that, but it was animated though, so it would be funny if it was just a sunflower blown in the wind, I think. But it was pretty good.
I guess, bro.
Because it was kind of just blown in the wind, but then they like animated a mouth on it. I feel like that was cheating. I'd have got the point if it was just. It would have been funnier, right? If it was no animated mouth.
No, I like the animated mouth. I was just
speaking down to the viewer. I think it's how I feel about it.
I guess I was trying to make sense out of what they had on it to hold it to the porch. It looked like Scotch tape, and I'm just like, how's that even? What the hell's going on here? Anyway. So yeah, pimento cheese sandwiches. I mean, really. I tell you what, bro. COVID killed television. I cannot watch anything anymore. Nothing is any good. I don't know what gives.
Watch that Nolan Ryan documentary on Netflix.
Ooh,
that was pretty good.
Sounds good. I just hope it's a clip of him lighting up Robin Ventura for an hour and a half.
That's what he does. They bring up all that stuff. He's the pride of Texas. He's like it's a small town. Because I lived in Houston. He's about 30 minutes away where he was born. And they got plaques all over him. The Ryan Express, all kinds of cool stuff. But it was a good documentary. It felt good. It felt good to be a Texan.
Yeah.
I remember Jim Rome having somebody on it. I can't remember who, but one of Nolan Ryan's guys got dinged in the first inning. And Nolan went and set up in front of their bench and started firing fastballs, like making them terrified. I was like, well, guess what's coming your way, motherfuckers? And he started scorching 100-mile-an-hour fastballs right in front of their bullpen. They did say in that documentary, I forget how he worded it, but they had George Bush Jr. in the documentary.
W.
Yeah, W. They had W in the documentary, and they're close friends. And W's like, Nolan was hitting everybody because he was a wild pitcher like Randy Johnson before he settled down. I guess he was always
he had to
had that thing.
He had to get his T lowered with age, so he didn't get good until he was 40.
Yeah, it was crazy. He finally got like a pitching coach that like lined him out, and then he started getting better at 41. Just fucking nuts. He was better between 41 and 46 than he was the rest of his career. How crazy is that?
Is that when he had the most no-hitters?
No, he had a year where he broke the strikeout record by 1, and he 383 beat Sandy Koufax, and he had 2 no-hitters. The year on his 6th no-hitter, he was old as fuck. He was like 44, 43 maybe, and he was hurt and out of bed. And he told somebody in the dugout, I think I'm done, and like get the other guy to warm up, but think I'm done with like my career. Like I can't move no more. And then he went out there and he fucking threw a no-no. So he played like 2 more years after that. And then when he was doing his 7th no-hitter, he felt it coming on, and he said he went to the dugout, and he's like, after like the 3rd or 4th inning, he just said, "Just give me one fucking run." And they're like, "Oh, we can do one run." And they're like, "We're about to watch this no happen from Nolan Ryan." So it's pretty cool. W asked him, because he pegged somebody in the side, and the guy fell down. He couldn't breathe, and W asked him after the game. He's like, "Why'd you do that?" He's like, he said, "Sometimes you got to go in there and take care of a situation." It blew up his rib cage, 100 miles an hour.
Oh god. How
Oh, Joe Ball wants to get in. Get Joe Ball in here.
you want in, Joe? Let me send you. Well, you got to get on Skype. See, it's a thing, dude. I got my shit set up through Skype. Nobody's got Skype. It's Boomer app, or I would. Joe, if you have Skype, I'll paste you in. He said he's good. He says nah.
Oh, good. I'm glad he's good, because I hate a sore loser. Him talking about the Bengals. Oh, wham. Our text chain, he's like, they're getting cheated. They don't get cheated. They had the ball with 2 minutes left, and they couldn't execute. Shoving old Mahomes in the back with his crippled leg, couldn't catch him, let him get the first down. Y'all shove him out of bounds and hurt yourself doing it. Give him 15 yards closer. For Bucker, he was on my fantasy team. I know he was trash for 50 plus yards all year. You guys had OT. You guys had it in the bank. Joe Cool. That ain't Burrowhead Stadium anymore, as they said after.
Entertain the people for a little bit. I gotta.
That's
Rob's going
Mahomes'
crazy.
house.
I'll be right back.
Make him go take a shit. Guys, I'm nothing without Tommy to beat up on. That's a fact. We didn't get a 5th down. Joe, man, I watched the game. It goes both ways, It goes both ways. Look, I used to hate Tom Brady. I used to. I kept saying, it's the Tuck rule. This guy literally fumbled. He shouldn't have won that one. He shouldn't have won this one. They should have ran the ball with Marshawn Lynch. Pretty soon, you just got to know that Mahomes is your daddy. Mahomes didn't have all his players. You guys got Jamar Chase, the best in the league. Higgins, the best in the league. You even got Hayden Hurst, who's, not that good, but the tight end position is not that good. So he's pretty damn good. I guess Boyd was out, right? Yeah, but that's fine. You got Joe Cool back there. You got great defense, and you let Mahomes with a bum ankle, 3 of his starting receivers out, just light you up, dude. Light you up. I'm not liking it, Joe Ball.
Well, it looks like it's going to be Mahomes and Burrow for the next 30 years. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Herbert, I like Herbert a lot. Herbert's kind of like, there's my wife talking to my children. You like that?
Nobody's paying attention to this shit.
Well, to give my wife credit, my kids are nightmares, so it's all good.
That's genetic. Gotta be.
She's literally fighting with little replicants of herself.
Imagine, like, you're convinced that it's the Tuck rule for Brady, and you hang on to that. Even through 4 Super Bowls, you're still like, well, that's the fucking Tuck rule.
Tuck rule.
You get to the 7th Super Bowl win, the 7th win, that is.
I mean, Tom, but all superstars do it. They get a lot of calls. Mahomes gets some calls, yeah. I don't think they should, they're changing the quarterback position with the way they drop back. They're super athletes that can run. They take one step out of bounds and get shoved. But I've seen these guys run to the sideline and tiptoe it up for 10 yards. You know what I mean? Oh, you're getting close. I'm a step out. Well, this guy's running full speed 4.3, 4.4 speed at you, and I'm supposed to know the difference if you're gonna like toe tap. No, I'm gonna blow you up, dude. And then on top of that, if I can get a hold of you, then all of a sudden, oh, I fell down on you wrong. Fell down on you wrong. I've got to literally stop myself mid hit now because I can't fall down on you to tackle you. So pretty much they're making it, you know, the Lamar Jacksons, the Hurts of the world's game. Mahomes runs a little bit. I think Joe Cool's the last gunslinger, maybe Herbert, you know, the guys that can throw in the pocket. Burrow already learned his lesson by blowing out his knee early, so he'll be good now. I don't know. I think Cincinnati, for as bad as their history is, everyone's got to be happy. They're 2 games out of the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl, they got a good little run. What, Joe Cool's 3 years in? Take away his hurt year, and he's only about 2 years in, 2.5.
Yeah, and they still don't even have a badass team around them, you know.
They're pretty good though. Mahomes is just better right now. That's all. Joe Cool will get there.
I want to see his penis. I heard it's huge.
Mahomes?
No, Burrow. Burrow's got a big old hog. I heard. I want to see it. I want to know what's causing all of this. That's just me. You know, no big deal. I'm not going to focus on it, but I would like to see it.
I guess all the shine's off that Brock Purdy now since he fell apart.
Not really. I mean, he got his arm twisted up.
He just doesn't have that magic anymore. That's all it takes. They fired the Dallas Cowboys offensive coordinator. He looked like he's about 24 years old. But they had the second highest scoring offense the last 2 seasons, and they fired him, needing a scapegoat for old Dak Prescott.
Yeah. Yep. Is there anybody that's failed upward more than Lane Kiffin?
Who's failed upward the most? Felt like T-Mac did as a Rockets fan. That guy failed upward. That guy had a surgery no one recommended when he had
just because he didn't want to play.
Just because he didn't want to play, dude. That's insane.
Weird.
He went and got extra advice to get that surgery, and that was the what was the one? The one that you get in your knee that microfracture. Yeah, he went out of his way to get microfracture surgery, and they were like, "Nah, bro, this will end your career." Turns out it ended his career.
he was just okay with being the best player in the league a couple nights a year. Like he was cool. He was cool with that.
Yeah, you could just tell. I mean, he could at any one time. I would take him at his best. He's awesome, right? Like he's amazing. But through an 82 game season,
he's no Cobster.
You need that consistency, like us, just showing up to podcast once every 2 months, unprepared.
No, we're here regularly from here on, dude. Seriously, I got my schedule back in order. I got my boss happy.
Who's your boss? You got a new dad? Who is he?
John.
Oh, John, yeah.
Wolf Peppy. I sent him a couple of Christmas gifts through Amazon. I didn't put my name on it or anything, so he didn't know who it was from. But he was opening them up on stream. He's just like, I don't know who sent this. He just kept assuming it was fans that were sending him stuff.
So you Secret Santa his ass to get. How about just turning your pages? He'd probably be more happy with that, boss.
Yeah, I am. That's what I'm doing now. Like I said, I want him back. I'm good. I'm golden.
What did you send him? You sent him some hard cheese or something? What did you send him for Christmas?
No, I sent him. Dude, what is Rob's deal? I sent him one of those neck traction things. It's like you lay on the bed and you put it behind your neck and it like fixes the arc on your neck.
Oh, the things you get, you try out once and throw in a corner in your house and never use again. I got about 7.
Yeah, dude, I keep mine in between mine and my wife's pillow. So I just when I lay down at night, do it to it. Then I got him a couple of fine point nibs for the Apple Pencil. And I also got him, like a little a lap stand for the iPad. So you just like it holds the iPad and sits in your lap. It's like a
I thought
little.
you got him a pen and a tablet holder to draw, but he don't draw, right? Does he draw anymore? Does he draw anything? What's he doing right
Yeah,
now?
he's drawing Godlike, I guess, or maybe even working on something top secret.
Oh, I think I talked to you and been friends longer than Malin. You know that I do my layouts on an iPad, and I think I've been there for you when you've needed me, but I must have missed your gift in the mail.
My gift is putting up with your ass, like your voice stuff you had me doing last week.
Play it. You want to play it for the fans real quick?
The fans.
Play it for the
What's
fans
our
around the
friends?
world.
It's our friends, dude. We don't have fans.
No, I was talking about Joe Rogan's fans, not for me. I was talking about me.
Yeah, I'll play it real quick. Desktop audio.
Do the new one. The last one I sent you.
Oh, you're wanting the
What?
video. I don't.
Well, the video just has the audio attached. The only way I know how to operate the only way I know, just play the audio, just play the video on your computer, but let the audio run. You know what I'm saying? Can you do that? The video is only there because I don't know how to do audio.
Hi, low. I'm Joe
Not that one.
Rogan,
That ain't
Nick
it.
Patera, Lex Friedman.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, but that's not the one.
All right.
You're literally playing the raw one. Play the one I sent you. I had to clean it up because Joe was being ridiculous.
All right. I'll tell you what. You hang out here a second. I'll be right back. Rob's going crazy out there.
I'll play it for y'all. Let me find it real quick. See if I can find it. All right, here it is. See if this works.
It is. Oh, it's so. Have you seen this new fucking Axe Wilder John comic? It's fucking incredible, man. I go to Lex Friedman's event in Austin. He's hosting Devin Larratt, and they have this big arm wrestling practice, And when I'm there, Lex is like there's a guy here that's a comic book artist. Lex knows that I wanted to be a comic book artist when I was a kid, so I go meet this guy, and this is super fucking cool. He's showing me all these arm wrestling techniques, and we start shooting the shit about comics. And anyway, he's got this new book, Axe Wilder John, and he shows me some of the artwork. I found it on his phone, and dude, it's just the most extreme, over-the-top, manly book you've ever seen. It's this big, faceless barbarian. His fucking face is cleaved off. He's got rippling fucking muscles, and he's covered in axes, and he's just chopping people up just on a rampage in this book. It's so good, dude. So, we start talking about comics and, the early Image days, Spawn with McFarlane and Jim Lee's X-Men and Rob Liefeld's X-Force. And, man, it just feels like this energy that he's bringing to this book is what the market needs right now. Marvel and DC with their identity politics and all that nonsense. They're just making soft material. And this is the first book I've been excited about, first comic book I've been excited about in probably 20 years, man. It looks so good. Nick had some of the artwork in his car, so after we drink a little bit, thanks me out there. And dude, these originals, well, people don't know this, but comic books are, they're printed small, but they're drawn a little bit larger, so they're reduced down. And but Nick said, fuck that. I'm not just drawing it, 11 by 17. He's drawing these pages like the size of a door, man, with the smallest little pens. Crazy detail. Anyway, I told Nick I'd give him a shout out. Axel, that looks fucking amazing. Congratulations on getting almost $250,000 on your crowdfunding campaign. I think it's just the beginning, man. You're gonna take over the world with this fucking thing. So, great to meet you, and we'll keep in touch, brother.
Pretty nice of Joe to give me that shout out. Don't you think, Tommy? I can't hear you no more, Tommy. You muted yourself.
I said, yeah, I'm thankful you had the artwork in your car to show him.
Dude, I keep this artwork everywhere.
Yeah.
I had to open up the package I was sending to Felix. I was like, he actually got it in the car.
I mean, what
As
are
I
the
unfolded,
odds?
he's like, what the hell?
Big as a door, they say.
Hey, Joe's a good buddy. What can I say?
Yeah, impressive. Never know who you'll run into in Texas.
I'm going to try to hook him up with Mark Millar and get him on the show. What do you think? You think I should do it or no?
That'd be cool.
Or should I keep all the shine for me? What do you think?
No, that'd be cool. I haven't asked Jay to try to get me on Alex Jones. How crazy would that be?
What's in it for him?
Um,
Always ask what's in it for you. You know what I mean? What's in it for the guy you're asking stuff for? He's going to do you a favor?
yeah. That's what friends do. That's what real friends
If
do.
you do get if you get on Alex Jones, you got to put on the Ye mask. Go just like Ye was dressed.
the Balenciaga stocking.
How crazy is that? How are you going to talk about the stuff and then wear the Balenciaga gear too? You know what I
Let
mean?
me tell you something, dude. That I felt like I was in a fever dream watching that the whole time. It was crazy. I like that he had Alex Jones exasperated a few times.
Yeah, he was sweating. It's like whenever we talk before we go live, and I think we might be live, and I'm like, oh, that fucking panic hits you, that jolt of fear. Like people know what I really think about stuff right now. I've had that panic for him the whole time.
When I worked in an office, I had changed my messenger to a real dirty name, like the Inter Office Messenger. I worked at a fulfillment company that did like mailing, like junk mail and stuff. And me and my buddy were always just we talked shit on everybody that worked there, dude. We were talking about the women, how it would be the nastiest, skankiest orgy ever if they all started doing it. You know, just like men shit. You know, just bullshit. Trying to make each other laugh with not.
Ridiculous scenarios to try to make each other laugh. That if anyone sees, you look like the worst monster ever. But you clearly
Well, they saw it.
I know, just trying to do a comedy bit. Like all the guy humor that I've ever had is always the ultimate most disgusting. You got to push it further. Completely understand. If
That's
you're a guy,
that's why I'm forgiving about Bill Gates going to Epstein. I just feel like that was them trying to get a good laugh.
He's dead. Well, he's dead now. You saw that response? That was crazy.
Yeah. But anyway, so one of the guys we were shit talking, I left my instant messenger open, and he was working some overtime and decided to go into my office and do some graphic design.
And he thought he should snoop through your
And,
messages?
well, as my dumb ass left it open, and then he goes through all of them because, on the company machine, I decided it'd be a good idea to save my Skype history. Like literally, I made that option. I don't know what I was thinking. He found me talking shit on everybody and on him. And he formatted it into a nice, tidy little document and gave it to everyone. And me and my buddy that were in on it, we had nervous diarrhea for a week, dude. We were just like waiting for the hammer to fall, right? And finally, nothing was happening. And my buddy was in a higher position than I was. He was more valuable to the company.
He had more to lose.
He had more to lose, but he was also just more valuable to the company. But anyway, after our buttholes had had enough diarrhea, we finally decided to just go talk to the boss directly. Just be like, look, we know you got this. Our boss, the owner of the company, looked us dead in the eye and said he had no idea what we were talking about. But the tech company that ran security, they were dumbasses when it came to Macs, and that's what I was working on at the time. And they didn't lock the Mac out of Bossman's folders. So on the drive, I had access to the owner's files. And I would snoop in there regularly, just being the fucking shithead that I was, right? Like, how can you not, right? This is like going to a Bilderberg meeting, only it's hometown. Anyway, I find the document in there. So I know he has the document. And I mean, it was some bad stuff in there, dude. But it was one of those things. It was also included.
He's a man. He's such a man just to be like, don't know what you're talking about. Get
Yeah.
out. Ain't worth his time. I'll tell you something I found in Boston's office once. I was working in a place in downtown Houston. I will not say where. This is weird. Whenever you run into people with money, man. Anyway, so a couple of the owners have their offices, and I'm doing some kind of work for them.
Hang on, they're saying.
But at night,
Gordon Goodbrother's saying the video is unviewable. Yeah, give me a second here.
Well, he said he saw it earlier. I mean, they said there's his face, right? Is it unviewable? Anyway, I'll talk.
It's still good. I see it. I went and checked it out on YouTube. We're good.
So I go and so something like my mom worked at the office, but also cleaned at the office, right? She would clean on the weekends, like it was extra, a couple $100 or whatever. And so some days, I feel bad. My mom's got to go clean where we all work, so I go up there with her. I get in the boss's office and I start dusting, cleaning extra shit, help my mom out. And one of his pictures falls over, and some pictures behind that picture fall out, and it is a boat party that with a lot of women that is not his wife who also works at the office, and a lot of chichas were out on that boat party. And I was like, put them back.
Dude, I bet you were nervous putting those things back.
Oh, God. Like behind a pretty good hiding spot behind a family photo, the portrait of the kids falls out, and you got the whole masquerade, the whole ruin the marriage stuff all just dropping out in your lap.
I think
I'm like, well. I tell you what, every time I get around people, especially on the coast, you don't even need a lot of money, just a little money or a friend with a boat. You get out about 4 or 5 miles out there, get to the shirts start coming off. I don't know what's going on. There's like a swinger vibe on the coast. It's weird. Corpus Christi, Texas. Oh, some weird couples out there, dude.
Yeah. You were telling me you've been in a couple situations where it got weird, and you're just like, "What the fuck are these weirdos doing?"
Yeah, it's like me and Kelsey went to a thing, and my wife, and it was like a bunch of these. They all made more money than us, and it was just like they were talking. They were just being grabby with each other's girls, and I looked at my Kelsey, and I was like, "Let one of these motherfuckers touch you." I was like preemptively getting jealous, And then I had a buddy there, and I was like, someone had done that to his girl, and he's like, "Oh, he's just being silly." And I'm like, "Yeah, but when he's porking her out here in 30 minutes, so he's gonna be silly then, Like you just this is all you're like prompting the mind, You're like, this is not good here, you know what I mean? Ugh.
Remember that?
I don't even like if people come up and hug my wife, if they're not relatives. Like I don't like I have a buddy, and he's a good friend, but anytime he comes into a room, it's like big hugs for the girls, Like I'll just give you if I see a girl there, I'm like, I ain't touching you. I don't I'm not I don't want to be friends with any girls. This is facts, Like I don't want to watch sports with girls. I don't think they know as much sports. I'm sure there are some, but they ain't friends with me. Don't want to work out with them. They're weak. as far as working out wise. They can't do anything I
I
can
seen
do.
the Taco.
Like
I
so,
seen
so
the Taco Bell commercial. The girl jumps up. She's like, he's
so
on my
so like
fantasy football team.
girls can't be workout buddies. We've tried girls in the fantasy football league. That always goes terrible. So they can't play fantasy football. This is from my experience. Like none of the stuff I like. So why are we going to be friends and give big hugs and stuff? You know, like there's no
So
reason
you got
for
that.
that. So call
You got that Mike Pence strategy. You don't even want to be in the same room alone with another woman.
I mean, there's only one reason,
All
right?
right.
Like I know I sound terrible, but I'm not introducing that into my world. The same with my wife, though. My wife doesn't like guy stuff. She hates all the jokes I make. She hates everything I do. She hates my friends. She hates Tommy. She hates ever. She literally had me call some of my friends and be like, "Y'all can never meet our daughters because y'all are monsters." And I was like, you know what? I kind of agree with you. I don't really want them to be around my daughters either. So that's cool. I called them up and I wasn't even stressed about it. I said, "Hey, just letting you
To be
know
clear,
that
I'm not a
stop."
monster that she doesn't want around the kids. That's definitely
I
not me.
said, I said, let's just stop. I said, look, I'm just going to cut to the chase. You're kind of an asshole. I don't like the way you talk to women. I don't want my daughters to talk that way. And so stop asking for us to come over with the kids because Kelsey already told me we're never going over there with the kids. We can still be friends and I love you, but it's over. So she hates guys too, and I hate girls, and we're good. And we kind of hate each other. Like in both of our stories, which is funny enough, like her character that's kind of an asshole is me, clearly based on me, and mine, Axelwood or John's got a character that's kind of based on her, and we just creatively kill each other all the time in our stories. You know what I mean? It's all good. It's all good. But as far as like coming up to other people's girls and giving big hugs, get out of here, dude. Kisses on the face and stuff. What are we doing
Oof,
here? You
oof.
know, I'm not trying to have an orgy in front
Mm-mm.
of Thanksgiving dinner. It's basically an orgy to me, you know?
Yeah.
Not for me, bro. That's that hug that just sees how you're doing. It's been so long. Let me give you something to linger on
Dude,
later in your
a hug
mind.
and a squeeze.
Oh, yeah, good. I mean, Kelsey, I mean, I talk about this sometimes, but I guess I'll stop before I get myself in trouble.
All right. Well, I think I'm sure about an hour from now. Can you delete that episode?
Not me. Never have,
That's
never
like
will.
the previous 300 episodes that nobody's seen. Too hot to handle.
We averaged a new viewer about every episode, so no view 1,000 viewers. That's crazy. I can't believe you threw all that away. And you never gave me any of the live streaming money, which was fucking annoying. What'd you do with all that?
Spin it.
Guess you must have bought Malin some
That's
gifts
what I
with
was about
that
to say.
too.
I bought Malin some Christmas gifts. Sent him a traction table. I'm just basically working on his neck and back. Hopefully he'll get some use out of it. We just got ours like a couple weeks ago, and I didn't even use it until this past weekend. As soon as I lay down on it, it feels like, even though the pressure's on the back of the neck, it feels like somebody's choking me. But whenever I roll over to go to sleep after using it, it feels pretty good. Not gonna lie, you should get one. I'll buy you one to go with that smartwatch that I sent you that you hadn't even looked at. Last time I ever sent you a smartwatch in horse paste. Very wasteful.
I don't think I'm done with this yet. I need my therapy still. So here we go. We'll go back to it. Like girls that are only friends with dudes. What do you think about them girls?
They're looking to get plowed out, most likely.
That's an ugly way to say it. I think that's an ugly way to say it personally. But I've never met a girl who was. I would never date a girl that had close guy friends to begin with. But I never met a girl who did. And I talked to them, and they're like, "Oh, he's my best friend. My husband understands."
Mm-mm.
And we have a couple drinks, and I say, "Just answer me one question. Have y'all ever kissed, or has he ever tried to fool around with you?" "Oh, he had that one phase." "Oh, so he has." Like I've just never had the one where he was just like a brother to me. You know what I mean? I've never come across it. Don't believe it's real. I just don't trust guys. Look, women are fine. They're probably too trusting. But I know how the man's mind works. You know, just get out of here. As they call them, I know what a sneak dick monkey is, and there's a lot of sneak dick monkeys out there.
That's a good episode of Rogan. That Uriah Faber one, where he's talking about those sneak dick monkeys.
Is that what he called
Yeah.
them?
I've used that term ever since watching that episode. Be good. And it's exactly what it sounds like. So you're on your final page, is what you're telling me.
No, I'm done, baby. Extended some scenes here and there. It's 168 pages now. While I'm waiting on everything, I figured I could get a couple more action shots in. So now all of the extra stuff is done. Ancillary stuff is getting done. I'm gonna jump in and help on colors because they're all behind, like always. Can't fix it, you know. I don't know what's going on with the colors in this industry, but they just don't get their work in right now. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah.
I'm bringing in my assistant Ken. I'm hiring him now to take a stab at it, help out on another 6-page chunk. I'm gonna jump in with him and train him up.
So you gonna listen?
Yeah, we did. I showed you the cover we did together. It looks good. I had to crack him a couple times. You
That's
know
what
how
I
it
was
is.
gonna say, dude.
So it's gonna feel good just to be working on post production
Yeah.
and hopefully get this out next month and get it out in everyone's hands. I'm so excited about it. Once the colors come in, we can release the PDF. I've been getting the sketchbook pages in. I got to get all the pinups. That's going to be the biggest pain that I haven't done yet that I need to. That'll be like all middle of next month. I'm going to reach out to everyone, and we had like 60 pinups. I'm going to have to put a couple on each page. Unfortunately, there's just not enough space in the book. But I want to get everyone in that did one as a thank you. So getting all those emails and trying to get them to give high res files, or some of them just did sketches, took pictures on their phone. But if I shrink them down small enough, the res won't matter. But that'll be the biggest hurdle. And then we got a great designer, like a real deal, 100% legit designer on the book, and like navigating how we're going to put these. Like, hey, you know how you get this vision for the book? Well, guess what? I got 60 random pinups that I don't know how we're going to get in. Like, I think there's going to be some creative back and forth there. So, but I'm excited. All my toys came in finally, so that's super cool.
Yeah, getting all those pinups going. That's gonna be some cat wrangling.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. What else? It feels good. It feels good that I'm not going to have to worry about anything else. I shouldn't have extended these fight scenes, but I should have just been doing the other stuff, but I kind of wanted to. But now it's we got the quotes from the printer in, 168-page oversized hardcover. It's going to be a beast. A year and a half, 2 years of work. Finally, people get to see it and read it. You always say you read it, but I don't know if you ever did.
Well, the high version,
Oh, when I was high, yeah.
which you
talking about
wore me
when I
wore
did
me out
drugs?
with that, dude. Holy shit.
I was excited about it. I was manic.
Yeah.
Sativas will do that to you. That's why I had to cut all drugs
Everything
out.
you've sent me, I've read.
Well, we're going to do one last pass on it once we get the last colors in and correlated.
One
And
last pass.
we're good. Das Pastores is the man. I need to show you those. If I text you those originals, can you put them up? Is that possible? Yeah. I'm gonna send them to your phone.
Okay.
And I'll show you the originals, dude. They're so good. This guy is costing me a fortune. All my profits go right back into the book, but it's worth it every penny. He's literally the best comic book artist working today. Hands down, no doubt about it.
Well, shit. Anyway, yeah, send it up. I'll put it up.
All right, I'm about to text you. Hang on. So I've got 5. I didn't send you all of them, but I've got 5 covers in from him. I got 30 pages of sequentials. 5 covers he's done. He's already done 7 pages of sequentials. I sent him another 30 pages of sequentials for all the short stories for all 5 volumes. He's doing an additional cover. So I've got like 50. I have like, when it's all said and done, about 50 pages from him. Who's like he's an old master in Europe. So it's been crazy. Currently, I've bought every original he's done. So I don't know if I can keep doing that. My wife will kill me. But it's cost me quite a fortune.
Just distract her with some macaroni salad, bro. She'll never know. Oh, I can't find my reference. Great. Just great. Ah. What's she going on about? What are they going on? All right, did you send it?
Text it to you. It might take a second because I don't know. I remember my wife take the pictures, so they came out
What
clear.
you talking about, J-Dub? I was supposed to do some John art, a cover or something.
Axel to John, yeah, he's supposed to do a pinup.
Oh, yeah. I work behind the scenes.
Tommy is a renowned flake. He was going to paint me one and show the painting. He did the rough for the painting, and he was going to do it.
I'll tell you what happened.
And here
I started drinking again
waiting.
last year. That's what happened.
And here I am waiting on the damn thing, waiting and waiting and waiting. He's still got time. Look, you think he cares about me? Been his friend for 10 years. Even associate him with him is a risk, you know. I'm friends with Ramon Villalobos, and he's like, people think you're in with Tommy, and I'm like, y'all, I'm friends with y'all both. Get over it, you know. But even being around him, but you think he'd do me a pinup? Nah. Now that he knows there's about 2 weeks, 3 weeks left before we go to the printer, you think he's going to rush and get it in? Nah, he's going to dig in his ass to smell his fingers before he does that. That's the truth.
Well, shit. Let's see here.
Hey, you can give yourself pink eye. Is that true or not? I was going to make a joke that you'd wipe your in your eyes and give yourself pink eye. But is your body immune to your own ass? Or
No.
You get pink eye from somebody
You
else.
get it from like picking your nose and digging in your eye, I think.
Oh God. I thought you had to stick your nose up someone else's ass to get pink eye. Never quite sure of that.
You know what happens when cows get it, right? Their eyes explode.
Like dead? Do they re-heal up?
No, dude.
Gone?
Their fucking eye blows up, dude. That's what I heard. Who knows? It'd all be made up bullshit.
Dogs must be immune to it then, because they always got their heads up each other's asses, you know?
Oh, yeah, dogs. They're resilient. Alright, let's see here. This over here.
Pull it up. Let's fire it up. Can they see all the operating stuff that you're doing, or they can only see us?
No, they can only see us.
It's cool that I have it on so I can see some of the stuff now. Seems like a lot of work on your end for some basic ass show.
Yeah. Explore downloads. That ain't it. Microsoft Edge. Okay.
Let's start with the first cover, not the last one. You got no idea of how to present anything, dude. Blow it up to full screen. Zoom in on it. Nobody wants to see your browser windows and your porn tabs up.
I don't watch porn. Anyway, there's...
Look at that. A 2 foot tall painting. Beast. Hand painted, dude. Look at that. Zoom in on the eyes. Zoom in on the eyes on that. Green skull with spiders for eyes. Get out of here. And just a Cyclops. But look at the leather texture on that shirt. Zoom in on that leather texture. I got more comments. I posted some of these, and everyone's like, the leather texture. I'm like, there's a lot of stuff going on, but they like that leather texture more than anything.
That's like a tricky character to draw and make it look right.
Well, that's cool, I
Yeah, no,
guess.
it
It's
looks
pretty
cool. I
cool.
like the little dip in the brow he did.
Yeah. A little concern there. That's volume three's cover. This is some for his short story. I gave him because he's Spanish, so I got to go through an interpreter. His rep is colorist and speaks Spanish, and so I go through him for everything. He sets everything up, but I don't want stuff to get lost in translation. It's hard to like give him all the backstory, so I kind of do the thumbnails for him. Dude, he freaking made him so much. Obviously, he took like a doodle and turned it into like. I wish I could draw
This
like that.
one,
You
the
know.
bottom panel's sneaky good, dude. The reflection in the water.
Just look at the fur on that monster's head. You know, like that water reflection at the top one. Like look at that the splash. Yeah, look at that splash. That's so good, dude. That's so good. It's cool because the last thing he did was working with Joe Dorowski, who worked with Mobius. So I was blown away when I was able to get him. I just had to give him a direct access to my bank account. I was able to afford him.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. J-Dub wants to know how you scan artwork that big.
Oh, he scanned it in. Oddly enough, you scan it in two parts and stitch it. But I don't know. Like he's actually Das, who I think he's in his 60s now. I think he's old as my dad. He he's pretty technically proficient. I've seen him do edits and like digital edits in Photoshop on pages. None of mine. And I actually own another page from a Punisher story he did, and there was some little digital edits that he did. I could tell from the printed page. So he knows enough to scan it in, knows how to stitch it, and he can make all of his edits in Photoshop. So and the fact that he can knows it, like if you look at his stuff, it's kind of raw and gritty and clearly done all by hand. But the files they actually look even better. Like the originals look great, but when he does a little pump up the saturation or something on the final scan. The final scan, maybe because they're backlit on the computer, but he knows what he's doing. He's shockingly, my dad, who's 60 years old, can't even cut a computer on, but this guy is pretty proficient in Photoshop. So
I mean, how old do you think the people were that invented computers? Of course he's good at it.
I just like feel like, and Das is like a hard guy to get a hold of too. He's not hard to get a hold of,
He's
but
busy.
you got to go through somebody, and he's painting and working all the time. And he's been working since he used to work at Heavy Metal, and so it's like, I don't know. Would you think that Mobius is good at Photoshop? I guess
He
so.
drew on
Whatever.
a Wacom before he passed away.
It's because he was losing his eyesight, and someone gave him one, and he said he liked it a lot. But I don't know. Would he know how to scan his pages in and calibrate them down and make sure it's CMYK and not RGB? And would he even know? Like I don't know. I just know my parents wouldn't be able to do that. So I'm impressed with his skills when it comes to digital for someone who's all analog, because he's all analog.
Yeah. Well, with AI taking over, we're not going to have to worry about any of that.
That's why I'm going to keep buying the originals, dude. One thing they can't do is paint by hand. You'd have to get one of them Elon robots to sit next to you and do it.
I told you I already figured out a way to do it. Get you a vinyl cutter, tape a pen to it, have it, instead of cut vinyl, it'll do the etching. It's how they do big blueprints. I talked about this on stream once, but it got deleted.
Did you dock somebody in it? I think. You said what happened?
Yeah, Doc's the little bitch.
We got a message from somebody who was accidentally doxxed in that stream and said, please do not keep that stream up. And then I said, I think I forwarded you the message, and you said, you told him to say that. You tried to make me look like I was weak.
Yeah, dude. It was all you. Just like you're good.
I'm tired of people. I'm tired of you and Ramon. You and Ramon are like two thorns in the opposite sides of a fence sitter. Listen, dude, I'm just selling comic books. I don't care what y'all are into. Make money for your families. Play your little games online for your attention. Whatever y'all need to do to get your dopamine hits. I'm not judging you. Just don't hug my wife, and don't ever think I'm on anyone's side but my own. That's just how I feel about it. What's the hard game we're playing here? I don't like anyone. Don't hug my wife. You can do all your stupid shit. I'll still like you if you're cool in person. If you want to play games and whatever, go ahead, do that too. Whatever you got to do to make your brand. We're all independent contractors. I don't look at any of y'all's competition to me because I feel like the pie is infinite. It's not a shrinking pie, so I don't play a game to eat a shrinking pie. I just say I'm going to make the best work possible, but stay out of people's shit. Don't hug my wife. Don't talk about my kids. And we're good, dude. Make ends meet. Make some jokes. Take you know if your game is taking them out of context so you can feel good about yourself. If your game is making fun of Velma cartoons you would have never watched, whatever, dude, that's good. Not for me. I don't care about that stuff. That's just how I feel about it. But you, Tommy, will be like, you're scared. Ramon says, you know who you associate with. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, I've known him a lot longer than I've known you. So I don't like any of y'all that much anyway.
Hmm.
Especially when you never gave me any of that live stream money. I'm still waiting on that. Have you spent it all yet, or
So
no?
right now
Where you put
you're
it
under
back?
a terrorist threat. It sounds like with your boy Ramon.
Nah, he's cool. He wants to have me on his podcast. I guess he started a podcast. He wants to have me on, and I was like, dude, like, I said, okay, let's do it. And then he's like, well, we'll see, we'll see. So we'll see how it goes. He had me interested, and then he pulled it away just to power play me. He's good, dude. Like Ramon is good. He's good.
Yeah, low key, really mean.
Super mean. I'll tell a story about the night I met Seth MacFarlane. It was because of him. We were at the image party. There was an image party, and it was like super
Hey,
exclusive. It was
hold on.
like that.
You already told this one.
Well, is that still up or is it
No, that
gone?
one's actually still up.
Is this the one where I gave him a Frank Quietly page that's worth $10,000 now? Because that's did I tell you that part of it? That's how he got the ticket. I was like, look, just stay home and do your commissions. My wife is here, my girlfriend at the time. We want to go to the party. We go with Nick Dragata, who does East to West with Hickman, and we got to get. But Ramon's name is on the list, not my wife, right? But I was like, let her take your spot. So I go up there. They let us in. But before, like me and Ramon were both quietly rip off guys, right? We love Frank Quietly, and I've got a couple of Quietly pages, and he was working on New X-Men at the
Dude,
time,
both
Ramon. And I
both of
was
you
like,
guys draw just like him, dude. It's crazy.
no, it's an insult to Quietly to say we draw like him. We're sad mimic shadows at best, but that's fine. So even being a mimic shadow, you have a pretty good career when you chasing the greatest of all time. But anyway, so I brought him. He was working on New X-Men, and I'm like, dude, you got to up your game, dude. You can't follow Quietly on New X-Men. Get out of here. I was like, let me show you how good he is, and I brought him one of my extra New X-Men pages. And at the time, I might have spent $300-400 for it, and I was making decent money, so it's okay. But now one recently sold. The last New X-Men page sold for $10,000 the other day,
Yeah.
and that stings. That fucking stings, bro.
I still think it was a mistake to get rid of the Alan Moore portrait he did.
Yeah, I traded. Oh, it's a long story there.
Yeah,
That's a good
I
story
know,
though.
but man.
Well, I got Flex Mentallo #1 cover. The #1 cover of Flex Mentallo with Grant Morrison. This is actually a published #1
Yeah,
cover.
boring.
The fair enough, but Flex Mentallo is my favorite character in DC. Man of Muscle Mystery. It's the #1 cover. If you're into magic stuff, it's one of Grant Morrison's sigils. He picked his 3 books that are his weird sigils. That's kind of cool. It's not a big character, so I don't know. The Alan Moore cover is the cover to his book in France. When Lucy got sick in the hospital, my daughter couldn't work. Everything was put on hold. Monster medical bills, like insane. And
I thought Ronald
Felix,
McDonald took care of that.
no, they don't take care. They gave us a place to stay, so we didn't have to leave her in the NICU. So we stayed there for a few months. But so Felix did your boy a solid. One, that Flex Mentallo came up for sale, and it was a fortune. And I had no money. And he knows I like Quietly, so he bought it, held it, and said he'll keep it, but if I want to get the money up, I can have it. I said, all right, that's real nice of you, Felix. Shit hit the fan with the medical bills and stuff, and he had some of my artwork wasn't sold yet, some of my collection, because I was going to try to get a big piece that was on Heritage. And he said, what do you think you're going to get for this? And I was like, well, I was hoping I'd get X. He just gave me a check for X and said, don't worry about waiting to sell it. You need the money now. Boom, dude. You send me a stack of cash when I need it and my kid's sick. That's a friend for life, dude. I'll kill someone for Felix. If one of Felix's enemies end up dead, the blood will be probably on my hands, Cool dude. So, and then I said, then he always want the Alan Moore. And I said, here, dude, I don't want to trade you the Alan Moore piece. It's better. It's the best piece I got. But that said, you love it. You got the flex anyway. We can do an even swap. And so, yeah, he's a good friend. And when I found the Alan Moore
Now,
piece,
did he want it for himself or did he want it to flip?
no, he wants for himself. No, he always told me that if he could ever get one piece, Alan Moore's his favorite writer. He loves that quietly piece. And that was always understood between us. Jay Leaston, who we used to Skype with, a pretty famous inker, now a stinker. He knows I'm a Quietly fan, and his rep at the time was like More Great Art or one of these guys was in New York in 2014, and Vin just showed up randomly, quietly showed up randomly and said, hey, we'll pay for this trip. Here's some originals. Just dropped them off at this art rep's table for him to sling. Leaston sees that in the corner of his eye, and he blows up my phone, but I'm at the convention. I get home that night after the con, and I see I got missed calls from Jay, and Jay's like, dude, get your ass over here quietly. He's got a fresh stack of originals. I say, oh God, tell Felix about it. Oh God, that's it. I get up first thing in the morning, go to Chase Bank, take all the money out of my account. I said, that's it. Like whatever this is, I'm buying me some stuff. We get there, and it's like he didn't bring his nicest stuff. He just brought random pages. It's all great stuff. It's all worth a bunch of money, but it wasn't like the key pieces. There was two pages that were held back. At splash page of the Invincibles, the Alan Moore page. Felix knows I'm all pumped up. There's going to be this stack of art, so he comes with me that morning before the show opens. We got artist badges we can get an hour early, so we mosey on over. And he said, we looked through them. They're pretty good. We picked some stuff out. It's cool. But Felix sees in the back there's a couple more pieces. He's like, what are those pieces? He's like, oh, well, someone's waiting on these, and he doesn't think he wants to pay what I'm asking, so it's just kind of in limbo. And Felix is like, well, how much is it? How much are they? And what are they? And he's like, oh, well, it's this Alan Moore piece and this other piece, right? And then it's like, well, Felix is like, well, I've been wanting this piece, Nick. And I'm like, well, I'm the guy who told you about this, and I'm trying to get a great piece out of this once in a lifetime opportunity, right? So it was always in limbo, like who was going to get it. He obviously let me have it, but now always had that tinge, like I kind of dicked him over because I know he really wanted it. I would have also never thought to
That's
ask
like
about
you
the
did
piece
what
in the back.
Michael Jackson did to Paul McCartney when he bought
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Beatles catalog.
Yeah. Paul McCartney had told him, yeah, you need to invest in buying music. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna buy your fucking music. Thanks for that advice. But anyway, so there's a couple things there. Like Felix wouldn't have known about it, wasn't for me. I would have never had the stones to offer to buy a page that was on hold. I would have never had this. I would have never thought to ask because I didn't see it. And I know that was Felix's favorite piece. And I've got a lot of good Quietly pieces, so it's cool. And then Flex Mentallo is my favorite of all of Quietly's work because he penciled and inked it when he was young and hungry and just massive detail, super cool muscle man. I love arm wrestling and muscle shit. I like magical thinking is fun, and Grant Morrison's a nut job, and it's super cool. So I was like, the two pieces were meant to be, but and he had one, and I had the other, and he thought his was worth more because it was a real comic cover. I thought mine was worth more because it's a more beautiful piece, and we would never get the trade done, because you got to give me something extra. I got to give you something extra. But then once he did that thing for my kid, I mean, let's do the swap. Do I regret it? I don't regret it for a second. Do I think that Alan Moore piece can be worth $100,000 in one day? Yes. But do I think Flex can be worth 60, 70 one day? Yes. So we're good. It's all cake because the amount, if you're smart and you find the right artist early, like I probably make 10 times the money on one piece of Quietly art because He's so good. If you look at the trajectory of collecting, if you guys want some tips, everything in the 90s now with a name artist and a big character is worth $100,000, right? Those pages were $5,000 5-6 years ago. Some of those pages are 200,000. In the 80s, that wave hit the 80s. That wave's recently hit the 90s. What's the next decade? The aughts. Okay, who's the best writer and artist of that decade? You can just throw them out. Josh Whedon and Cassaday on Astonishing X-Men. Those pages are still dirt cheap. What do you think is going to be big name writer, big name, a fantastic artist, big known character? If those three are there in the odds, and now Quietly's new X-Men now just hit 10,000. I can tell you those pages were $500 5 years ago, and now they're going to start hitting the 10, 7, 8, 9, 10,000. And then if you hold it 10 more years, they'll be up to that 60, 50, 60, 70,000. Why are you buying Bitcoin or all this shit? Just buy Quietly art or buy like Josh Whedon. Go find Josh Whedon Astonishing X-Men art. You'll be like, I can't. It's $1,200. $1,200 a piss in the bucket compared to what you're going to get back. Hold on to that 12 and spend it on barbecue or McDonald's, or put it in the bank and have inflation eat it up, or acquire an asset. And it's not like these characters aren't the biggest known mythological characters that pump out money, and everyone has them on Band-Aids, from underwear to sheets to tinny shoes. It's not like everyone's going to wonder one day, where did these things come from, you know? And then now that people in the 90s are old enough, and people that were born in the 80s are old enough to afford the stuff in the aughts when they were in their early 20s or 16, 17 when they were reading comics. Now that those guys are turning 40, they're established, they can afford stuff. And since all those nerds probably got good nerdy jobs, probably make good money now. So now they're all in a pissing contest to buy pages. Seems to me like it's a no lose, you know? That's how I feel about it.
Just buy silver.
By
Yeah,
silver?
it's like $25 a coin. You'll be filthy. You'll be
Nah,
filthy rich.
paper. You can't paper suppress Quietly art like you can silver. The votes are already cleared on Frank Quietly art. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Anyway, that's once in a lifetime, and I can put it this way: I'm not rich with Quietly art, but I've always taken anything that I've sold and bought other stuff I've liked. Are they all winners? No, because sometimes they get commissions and stuff. But if you can buy those three factors and they're there, if you can buy those three factors, big name character, big name, and then also the key factor to the 90s and 80s stuff is it sold so well too. So a bigger pool to sell to, right? Like that's the fourth amplifier. Now, does Quietly have that on New X-Men? It is the X-Men, and it created a lot of the movie stuff. A lot of the movie aesthetics came from some of that stuff. So I would say yes, and a lot of it's evergreen, like All-Star Superman. It's evergreen, so it's selling over time. Is it going to have that monthly pop that the 90s had? No, but is it going to have the trade paperback sales that compare to anyone's? Yes, over time, you know? So especially by the time you get the translated editions and all the foreign markets are saturated, you're dealing with some big dogs that got deep pockets.
J-Dub asks, what did Quietly do? What did Quietly do the Alan Moore piece for?
It was it's a book cover. It's actually a book
His
cover.
biography,
It's
right?
a French
Yeah.
biography. It was a weird book. It came with a CD that I've never, because I bought the book. I found it was like
It
80
came
euros.
with the Pit Crew CD.
There was also there was an art exhibit in France held specifically for Alan and his work, and they needed an image for it. And it was originally used as the promotional image for a French museum show. And then when they made a collection of that and put it in an autobiography in France, they used that as the cover. So you can look it up. It's pretty good. It's one of Quietly's best pieces ever, but it's not hand painted. Quietly used to hand paint, but I read an article. I know specifically that he didn't paint that because he thought it was penciled so well that he hadn't watercolored in a while, or watered down acrylics is what he uses. He hadn't done it in so long that he was a little nervous. He's like, I don't want to mess this up, so he did it digitally. But it looks great. Like if you look closely, if you Google it, like look in Alan's beard and you could see the curly strings of hair. The pubic hairs are saying
Yeah,
like
like I said,
Watchmen
you
or V for
you getting
Vendetta.
rid of it is the biggest mistake of your life. But
It's
I
kind
get
of
it.
the underdrawing of the finished thing, and now you know the backstory.
Yeah,
So, and I no regrets, baby, no regrets or whatever
yeah,
that
no
tattoo
regrets.
says. None at all, dude. Like it's all a win. It's all a win. How I'm able to afford DOS working for me is, unfortunately, I got to sell some of my collection. But sometimes those pages I got from another collector for $500, if I can sell it for $8,000, now I can afford some pieces from DOS. So really, I got DOS working for me for $500 10 years ago,
Mm.
which is money that would have been spent anyway. So how much is it really costing me? No. But then like it seems like an insurmountable amount, but it's kind of funny money at this point, right? Like it's kind of a joke. Like it's not a joke, but it's not like that money would have been gone. You could put me in a bar at a con, $300-400, or go take that $300-400 and buy. Like I bought an Art Adams page for $400. You know, like I don't know what it's worth now, but it's got to be worth something. And I could have drank that. I probably did drink away too much. Like if I wasn't drinking at
Best
shows
advice
and
I ever gave
partying.
you was when you were going through your wild child phase. I said, buy all the art you want.
Yeah, so Chip Kidd owns a whole issue of All Star Superman. I can tell you that the last All Star Superman page, 2 pages recently broke 10,000 sequential pages for Quietly. Knowing his market very well, that's an insane number. I know I've had offers on. I have an All Star Superman cover, but I have a single page, and I know I've gotten offers for 7 to 8,000 like a year ago, and I turned it down. But they finally had one with Superman in costumes key. Page came up and it sold for 10, and then a new X-Men page that I thought wasn't the best in the world sold for 10 like a week ago at Heritage, and that's it's a lot of growth shortly. But I think All Star Superman is going to be our generation's. Everyone gets mad at me for saying this, but it's going to be true. It's our generation's Dark Knight Returns. They're the yin and yang opposite of one another. One is Dark Knight is the knight. He's the untrusting man. He's the do it himself. And then the other guys comes from the day, literally powered from the light. The image on the All Star Superman cover is the Jesus image. It's when Jesus floats down. He's the hope. He believes in everyone. The story reinforces that. The Dark Knight is the yin and yang to that. It's completely gritty. It's darker. Superman was a restoration of all of these core qualities. At two evergreen stories, done by both done by masters. You know, writing, drawing wise. Frank Miller did all himself, but still, like you had all-time greats from that decade or 2 decades, or all-time greats for forever in the industry. Big name characters, evergreen stories. Is All-Star Superman's more of a refocusing of Superman, whereas Dark Knight was a reinvention. But even that's a yin and yang. You know, I just feel like they're the exact opposites. And I feel like all the writers over the years made that. You know, it's weird that we have the dark and we have the light. You know, we have the untrusting man, the individual, the man in the arena, the guy that sees all. You know, the one that represents hope, the one that, and they're both like two different takes on being orphans too, which is kind of cool. Like one guy witnessed this thing, his parents getting killed, and he's like, I won't trust anyone, I'll fix it all. And the other kid didn't witness his parents being blown apart or whatever happened on Krypton, gets shot here, and he just has a loving family. And so that instills hope. So it's like a reflection of parenting, and then of course Wonder Woman gets thrown in for God knows why, because this is all man story, right, boys? You know what I mean? What's Wonder Woman good for? Selling underwear? I don't know. I don't know what Wonder Woman's good for.
Hey, on that note, I think I'm done streaming here for the day.
Oh wait, I want to go over this. The
Yeah. Go
Chip
ahead.
Kid. So the Chip Kid issue that he owns is one of the best issues. I think it would be worth today minimum averaged out to $10,000 a page. Then the cover's probably going to be at least 25 today, but probably 30 or 40, 30,000. So you go 20 times, that's 200, 250,000, and then get the whole thing. There is no way that's not worth $250,000 minimum. And I think the Primo version, if you put that on Heritage, and he's got to wait 5 years, 10 years, that complete issue is going to go for $500 to $1 million. That's Nick Patera's stupid guess. I don't know anything. I'm just a fat idiot that doesn't know anything,
That's true.
and that's fine.
Well, hey, everyone watching, the millions watching,
By the way,
we're gonna do like a real show tomorrow. I'm gonna set it up PTI style. We'll be in and out 40 minutes tops. It'll be really fun to watch.
keep your hands off other people's wives. Don't let women in your fantasy football leagues because they'll ruin it. What else? Make sure you take your dog out, take a shit before the show starts, so it's not barking
Nah,
in the
dude,
background.
I fucking took him out like 3 times. He goes like all the time because he's old.
If you're collecting art by great artists, great writers on known characters, and you will not lose. Give it some time. You might like every time I bought a Quietly page, I've always overpaid because they don't want to give it up. It's like, well, this page is going for 500. I'll give you 800. Oh, I'll make it $300. Cool. And now sit on it and let for 6 months or a year or 2 years, and it'll be worth 1,200. Let it multiply again. Like the money you spend now is draining anyway if you don't spend it because of inflation, and they got to print the money anyway. So what you're holding is becoming worthless. Why not just pay a little more and get something that's gonna be this is currency, man. It's called currency for a reason. They cut the power supply on, the currency flows. They cut it off, it stops. It's called currency. Well, if they're cranking it up and giving it away, that's depowering your currency. So what do you need? You need batteries. All assets are batteries that charge up and start going up more in value, like a home, for instance, because my home went up 40% only because they printed 40% of the money. It's pretty obvious. Not like there's a new demand. It's just printing the money. So take your loose money, not that we have much, and find the right things to hold on to. That'll be jacked up in value. Things you don't eat and turn into shit, and wasteful stuff. Don't buy nice cars, live in dirty rooms, and buy stuff you like comic book art. Good comic book art, not trash comic book art. That's the key. That's my advice. Peace, love. Until tomorrow when I blow Tommy's head off.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.